Hello and welcome. Today we're diving into a government agency that, believe it or not, has a massive impact on your wallet. We're talking about the CFPB.
So let me ask you something. When you're signing the paperwork for a car or a house or even just a credit card, who's really in your corner? Who's making sure the game isn't rigged against you? Well, the answer to that question is actually pretty recent. And to understand it, we need to go back in time.
And to get that answer, we have to rewind the clock to the late 2000s. You might remember it. It was a time when the entire global financial system was basically teetering on the brink of collapse.
Yeah, that 2008 financial crisis was a huge wake-up call. It threw a spotlight on the fact that a lot of financial products, especially mortgages, were just plain confusing, and sometimes they were downright predatory. It left millions of people completely vulnerable. So Congress steps in and, in 2010, passes this giant reform law called the Dodd-Frank Act. And buried inside that massive law was the answer we're looking for, the creation of a brand new agency, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB, with one single focused job.
So what exactly is this new agency? Honestly, the best way to think about it is as a dedicated watchdog for your wallet. It was created for one reason: to stop the kind of financial abuses that led to that 2008 crisis in the first place.
And when I say its scope is massive, I mean it. This isn't just about one little corner of the market. The CFPB's authority stretches across a huge range of financial companies that you and I deal with every day. We're talking banks, credit unions, mortgage companies, debt collectors, you name it.
And its mission? It's crystal clear. The CFPB was designed to be proactive, not reactive. They aren't just sitting around waiting for problems to pop up. No, they're supposed to be out there monitoring the market for shady practices, enforcing anti-discrimination laws, and, this is a big one, giving you a direct line to file a complaint when something goes wrong.
But the CFPB isn't just watching from the sidelines. It was given some serious teeth, a real enforcement toolkit. It took a whole bunch of powerful consumer protection laws that used to be scattered across different agencies and put them all under one roof. First up, you've got TILA, the Truth in Lending Act. You know when you get a credit card offer and it clearly shows the APR? That's TILA at work. It's the law that forces lenders to show you the true cost of borrowing money, so you can actually compare your options. Then there's RESPA, the Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act. This one is all about the home buying process. It's meant to clean things up, protecting you from a bunch of surprise fees on closing day and banning things like kickbacks that can secretly drive up your costs. And this one is absolutely fundamental, the Equal Credit Opportunity Act, or ECOA. It makes it flat out illegal for a lender to discriminate against you for any reason that has nothing to do with your ability to pay, like your race, your religion, or your gender. The whole point is that your financial future should be based on your finances, period. The SAFE Act drills down on the front lines of the mortgage world. It sets up national standards for licensing the people who actually write up your mortgage, the loan originators, to make sure they're qualified and registered. And trust me, we're just scratching the surface here. The CFPB has a whole host of other regulations in its toolkit, all designed to make the financial world a little safer and a lot more transparent for all of us. Okay, so that's a lot of laws and enforcement power. But what does it actually mean for you? Well, it means you now have a direct channel to make your voice heard. 15 days. Just remember that number. If you file a complaint with the CFPB against a financial company, that company typically has just 15 days to get back to the agency and explain how they're handling your issue. That's a pretty powerful deadline. And the process itself is really straightforward. You hop online, describe your problem to the CFPB. Then, the CFPB acts like a go-between. It sends your complaint to the company and makes sure you get a response. Plus, all these public complaints give the agency a treasure trove of data to spot new problems bubbling up in the market. So, let's zoom out and bring this all together. What is the real, on-the-ground impact of having the CFPB on the field? You know, this idea of a referee really hits the nail on the head. Before the CFPB, the rules were all over the place, and so was enforcement. Now there's a single, powerful regulator whose only job is to watch out for you and make sure everybody's playing fair. When you boil it down, the change is pretty stark. We went from a world of scattered rules to having one central place for consumer protection. We went from confusing loan documents that were impossible to compare to standardized forms like the loan estimate. That's a direct result of the CFPB's work. And we went from having very few options when something went wrong to having a clear, public, and effective complaint process. But here's the thing. The financial world never stands still.
With fintech on the rise, algorithms making credit decisions, and new ways to pay for things popping up all the time, the mission to protect consumers is more critical than ever. It really leaves us with a huge question to chew on. What new challenges and what new rules of the game will this financial referee have to tackle next?